Alright, straight in. Number 1. Ghost Armies. Imagine being in a trench peeking over the sandbags and seeing a massive army of tanks rolling toward you. Your stomach drops, you start writing goodbye letters in your head, and then you realize, oh, those tanks are just inflatable balloons. Welcome to the bizarre psychological art of the Ghost Army, a wubble tactic so absurd it sounds like something your cousin would invent for a backyard Nerf war. The Ghost Army was made up of artists, sound engineers, and set designers. Their job? Trick the enemy into thinking a whole division was camping right next door. They'd use massive inflatable tanks, fake trucks, and giant loudspeakers blasting the sounds of boots marching and engines revving. The illusion was so convincing that German recon planes would report confirmed enemy armor, leading entire divisions to reposition, to fight air-filled toys. Why does this work? Your brain loves patterns. It fills in gaps with what it expects to see. Military recon teams weren't flying low enough to poke the tanks with a stick, so they just assumed, if it looks like 30 tons of steel, it's probably 30 tons of steel, and in wartime that little brain shortcut can be deadly. In short, the Ghost Army didn't just win battles. They weaponized the part of your brain that can't resist finishing an incomplete puzzle. Basically, they were the catfishers of modern warfare. Number 2. Leaflet mind games. Picture this. You're freezing in a muddy foxhole. Morale somewhere between I miss my mom and I wish I were literally anywhere else. Then a plane flies overhead, not to drop bombs, but pamphlets. Just raining little sheets of paper. These weren't discount coupons, these were psychological grenades. They'd say things like, your commanders are lying to you, your girlfriend's probably dating someone else, or even fake letters from home, describing how hopeless your side's situation really is. It sounds silly, like warfare's version of spam email, but the genius is in the repetition. See, propaganda leaflets work like little mental termites. You don't even have to believe them at first. But once a single idea gets inside your head, your brain starts looking for evidence to confirm it. This is called confirmation bias. You unconsciously notice things that agree with the thought you've been fed. And in the middle of a war, surrounded by misery and bad food, you're already halfway convinced before you even finish reading. Which means, in some cases, the most powerful weapon wasn't a bullet, it was a bad rumor printed in cheap ink. Number 3. Operation Wandering Soul. This one sounds like it was pitched at a horror movie meeting. During the Vietnam War, U.S. forces learned about a local belief that if someone dies far from their family and isn't buried properly, their soul wanders the earth in torment. So what did they do? They recorded eerie, ghostly voices wailing in Vietnamese, crying out things like, I am dead, go home before it's too late, and blasted them through loudspeakers in the jungle at night. It was designed to tap straight into the enemy's deepest fears. Your beliefs, especially deep-rooted spiritual ones, act as mental tripwires. You can be the toughest soldier in the world, but if you've been raised since birth to believe wandering spirits are dangerous, hearing one in the dark jungle is going to make your lizard brain scream, nope. Bruh, of course it didn't always work. Some troops just shrugged it off. But in a few documented cases, it caused entire units to retreat. Which means somewhere in a Pentagon file, there's proof that one of the strangest battlefield tactics ever was basically ghost cosplay with speakers. Number 4. The silent treatment. You know that awkward tension when someone just stops talking to you? Now imagine that, but instead of your roommate ignoring your texts, it's the entire enemy army. In warfare, silence can be as terrifying as explosions. During World War I and II, armies sometimes deliberately stopped all activity. No gunfire, no movement, no radio chatter for hours. The point wasn't rest. It was to make the enemy paranoid. Because when the constant noise of battle suddenly dies, your brain starts spinning. Are they planning something? Are they sneaking up? Did they already sneak up? Oh God, they're right behind me. This works because your nervous system is basically a threat detection alarm that hates uncertainty. Normally, war is loud, gunfire, shouting, vehicles, so your brain adjusts to that as normal chaos. But remove all that noise and it creates a psychological vacuum that fear rushes to fill. This is anticipatory anxiety, and it's like an endless loading bar of dread. And when soldiers finally couldn't take the tension anymore, they'd sometimes fire blindly into the dark, wasting ammo, giving away positions, or panicking themselves into retreat. So yeah, next time someone gives you the silent treatment, remember, it's a war tactic. Number 5. Disguise as the enemy. You ever play a video game where you equip the enemy's armor so you can sneak past undetected? Turns out, armies did that too, except with much higher stakes. During World War II's Operation Grief, German soldiers dressed up in U.S. uniforms drove captured American jeeps, and cruised around Allied territory giving wrong directions, switching road signs, and generally causing chaos. It was less battlefield heroics and more chaotic GPS sabotage. The genius here is that your brain hates when something looks familiar but acts wrong. Soldiers seeing American troops doing bizarre things were confused long enough for sabotage to work, and while it didn't single-handedly win the war, it made everyone suspicious. American soldiers had to start asking each other personal trivia, like baseball stats or hometown names, just to prove they weren't imposters. It's the same mental glitch you feel when your favorite barista greets you with the wrong name, except in this case, the stakes were die in an ambush instead of awkward coffee order. Number 6. The Magic Radio. Here's a fun nightmare. You're a soldier in World War II, you tune into a music broadcast to feel a little human again. And the DJ starts reading out your name, and your unit, and maybe even something about your girlfriend back home. This wasn't supernatural, it was intelligence. Propaganda stations like the infamous Axis Sally and Tokyo Rose mixed popular music with creepy, hyper-specific taunts to mess with Allied troops. How did they know I'm from Chicago? Well, a little reconnaissance plus public records went a long way. This works because when a message feels like it's aimed directly at you, it sticks harder. Even if you know it's propaganda, your brain gives it more weight because it triggers an emotional reaction. And the more rattled you get, the more likely you are to believe other things the station says, like your side is losing or your loved ones have moved on. Basically, it was like a 1940s version of Facebook's targeted ads, just with fewer sneakers and more existential dread. Number 7. The Death Whistle. Nothing says have a great day like the sound of your own doom screaming at you from across the battlefield. The Aztec death whistle is a small, skull-shaped instrument that makes a sound disturbingly close to a human scream when blown. Historians believe Aztec warriors used hundreds of them at once before charging into battle, creating a wall of bone-chilling noise. Why does it work? Humans are hardwired to react to certain frequencies, especially those resembling distress calls. It bypasses your thinking brain and slams straight into the amygdala, the part of your brain that handles fear. In modern terms, it's the equivalent of setting your ringtone to demon child screaming and handing it to a stranger. While the death whistle is an ancient example, modern warfare has an abandoned sound. From the Stuka dive bomber's infamous siren to battlefield loudspeakers blasting unsettling noises, the principle is the same. Make your enemy's brain freak out before you even get there. It's intimidation at a primal prehistoric level, and it works disgustingly well. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.